What up with it? It's your boy T holding it down, doing what I do. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I just wanted to talk to y'all today about mental health and how important it is, you know what I'm saying, to be around people that you love, you know, people that care for you, and people that just want to see you win in life, because that's going to help you out in the end, you know what I'm saying? That's going to be contributing factors for why you're getting better, in other words. Not everyone's depression is the same, but for me, I was dealing with depression for a long time. I want to say since like early 2000s, you know what I'm saying? I had stuff that was going on in my life to where, you know, your boy wasn't experiencing nothing like that before, and it started to get better, so I was like, all right, I can get better. And then something else hit me, you know what I'm saying, like boom, to where, you know, somebody close to me died, you know what I'm saying? My pops, you know what I'm saying? He was the closest person to me that passed away. And once I realized that happened, you know, I really didn't, I understand that we all pass away, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't think that it was going to happen to my immediate family like that, you know what I'm saying? And when that happened, man, it hurt. It like wasn't nothing that nobody could tell me, you know what I'm saying, to where it was gonna make it better, you know what I'm saying? And it got to the point to where, you know, I could just be at work, or I could be doing something with my kids, or just doing something, whatever, and randomly I'm thinking about him, and then my whole mood would change, you know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't break down in front of nobody or nothing like that, because I'm big on being a private person. So I really wasn't showing that, well, you know, doing that. But then my facial expressions would say something else. And I feel like that's what would make it to where, you know, my family be like, man, you all right, you know, this or that. And I don't know, I just wasn't myself. I knew that it was going on the deep end, and it wasn't looking good. I was getting too comfortable feeling that way, you know, feeling down. And so it got to the point where I kept on doing my research, and I came across some stuff to where, you know, somebody was saying, hey, you know, depression, you know. Now, I know that I was depressed. I know I was sad. I wasn't myself. And everything that they were saying, I was like, man, that sounds like me. You know what I'm saying? Am I going through depression, bro? So I said to myself, the next time I get my yearly checkup, I'm going to chop it up with my doctor, let him know what's going on. You know, I went off in the doctor's office, telling him what was going on. And, of course, he's going to ask anyway, you know, everything doing all right, you know, how's this going, you know, reading this, reading that, whatever the case may be. And I ended up telling him, I said, hey, man, you know, I feel like that I've been, you know, not myself, you know. And so he was saying, tell me a little bit more about it. So I ended up letting him know what's going on. Told him that my dad passed away. And think it was like in 2019 when I finally got talked about it. But my pops passed away in 2016. So I was dealing with it for a long time. And it'd be times to where like I wouldn't be around nobody, but then you build it up and hold it in for so long, you just break down, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times I cried at my house, you know what I'm saying? Just still in disbelief that he's gone, you know? Because I was very close to my dad. And now I got all my personality from him, my love for music, me wanting to draw, like all kind of stuff, man. Like I got a lot of that stuff from him. You can tell I'm Turk Jr., you know what I'm saying? So it just really hurt me, man, when he was gone, bro, when he left. And still to this day, I still think about it. You know, it's not as crazy like how it used to be, you know. I do get my moments sometimes for when I am talking about him, you know, to why, you know, your boy get a little choked up sometimes. But, you know, there's no time limit for when you could really be fully healed from when you lose a loved one. Straight up, I don't care what nobody say. Oh, yeah, man, it take about like good 2 months. Yeah, okay, nah, bro, not for me. And some people be like, hey, I ain't even think about it at all. Okay, well, you really tell me how y'all relationship was. You But the main thing for me is, I feel like it's, and I can't speak for everybody, I'm just speaking for me, it's going to be a minute till I can fully get over that. And I don't even think I'll ever get over it, but it will be a lot of better days than what it used to be. I think that's what sparked it up. Again, I had depression for sure way before that. It was early 2000s. And some things that was going on or whatever like that, and it was out of my control, but I stuck with it, I fought through it, and I overcame it. And then some more stuff happened, and then I think, again, like I said, back in 2016, when my pops passed away, that's what really made to us all. Now, I'm gonna be here for a while, you know what I'm saying? And so, again, like I said, I was doing my research, got in touch with my doctor, my primary care doctor, let him know what's going on. And he was saying, well, let's try this. Let's put you on some depression medication. And we're going to do a real low dose and go from there. And then we'll see if that help out. We'll do a follow-up, see if you want to come back. Well, if you want to come back. We'll see what's going on when you come back. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's go ahead and do that. And so once that happened, I was taking the medication. He was telling me it was going to take like an X amount of time or whatever. It would take about like 3 weeks or something like that for it to kick in. That's why I was like, man, 3 weeks. And so those were I ain't going to say the roughest 3 weeks, but my patience was really running low. So I was like, man, I don't even want to take this medication because it's not doing nothing. But then again, he told me it was going to take an X amount of time to be, kicking in. And then so after that 3 weeks went by, it was, I don't know, probably 4 weeks, something like that. I still wasn't feeling nothing. So when I had to do my follow-up, I went back to my doctor and I told him, I said, hey, man, I don't even feel the same. And so he said, okay, well, let's just go ahead, up the dosage, up to whatever it is, milligram or whatever. And so end up doing that. I want to say like a couple of weeks went by or something like that. And then I noticed that it was getting a little better. And so I was like, all right, cool. And give it some time. It's going to be doing something. It didn't fully take it away. But like, say for instance, if I was at like 90 of like being depressed, it probably brought it down to probably about like the low 80s, or possibly the high 70s. That's still high. And so that's when I was like, man, like, just give it some time, man. Just give it some time. But then also the medication, he was telling me the side effects, and he said one of the side effects, I forgot all of them, but the main thing that affected me was me feeling, I don't know the right word for it, but it was basically saying that I was going to be aggressive. And I noticed that I was being aggressive towards certain people in my life. And they ain't have to do nothing. It's just more like I was mean. You know what I'm saying? And I knew that wasn't me, but at the time I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? It was just saying like, hey, this is how you going to be, like, trick it. Like, you have your moments and you didn't care about somebody else's feelings versus, you trying to heal yourself, but then you making somebody else down bad, at the same time. That was not my goal, straight up. And so once I realized that it was happening, I told a handful of people that I was on medication, for depression. Because, again, I'm very private at the time, to why I didn't want to talk about it at all. But it was certain people in my life that I loved that I had to say, hey, they know it's something wrong with me. They see it in my face. I'm not the same. I have to say something. And so I probably still didn't tell them anytime soon. But then eventually it came to the point to where I ended up telling them and say, hey, I felt comfortable at the time. And there was a small little window for me to be able to say it, or it was just going to fade away. I'm like, hey, we got the opportunity to wait another month. So I ended up letting them know what was going on. Hey, I'm on depression pills, It makes me be aggressive at times, this and that, blah, blah, skip, boom, 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 whatever. And then they were saying, all right, it makes sense now. I've been wanting to ask you, but, leaving it alone. So I ended up letting them know what was going on. But it wasn't too many people. Like I said, I count on one hand. Matter of fact, it was 2 people that I told. And my kids was too young at the time for me to be saying anything about that. They encouraged as long as, daddy's happy. They see that daddy was happy, or like, we getting fed, whatever like that. So of course I would be faking a lot of that stuff. Not saying I didn't love my kids. I love my kids to death, but I didn't want to lash out on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I could just make it to where I just say, hey, not right now, or if I just didn't want to lash out, I just like separate myself to where, I get them what they want, and I just be like, okay, let me just, because I didn't want to do that to my kids. But sometimes with that, it just kicks on, and you can't control it. You know what I'm saying? And so I remember one time to where my mom was talking to me about something, and I lashed out on her to where I said something like to where I never said before, to where, cause I don't talk slick to my mama at all, and I was like not aggressive like I wanted to fight, but it was like what's going on? And then once my mama looked at me like that, almost like like that ain't my son, That's when I knew I had a problem. I immediately apologized to my mama. I didn't cuss her out, so I want y'all thinking the worst like that. I didn't hit her or nothing like that. But I guess my tone was just it wasn't how I normally be, And I even caught it. And so when I kind of calmed down, I think I ended up calling my mama later that day, and I apologized to her, and I told her, I said, hey, mama, like I was telling you, this medication is, whatever. And I didn't want that to be the excuse or the reason for why I was acting that way, but that was doing it, Because anything before that medication, I just wouldn't talk to nobody, And silence could be a killer as well, But I just would rather not to talk to nobody. And so I'll say, you know what? Let me just be quiet. Let me just do that. But anyway, I ended up calling my mama that day. I think it was that next day. I think it was that same day. Yeah, because it was on my mind. I just kept thinking about like, nigga, I can't believe you did it. And so I said that. And so I ended up apologizing. I let her know what was going on. And then that moment, that's when I realized I'm not going to allow this to be the reason for why I am this way, or why I got to apologize to people. You know what I'm saying? Especially people that I love. And but I just couldn't flat out stop taking the medication either. You know what I'm saying? Because my doctor said I would have to wean myself from it. You know what I'm saying? Or it's going to be even worse. And so I was like, man, so what can I do to get, weaned off of this stuff? It got to the point to where I eventually stopped taking the medication. I was afraid that my doctor was going to say, hey, sorry, I got a text message. It got to the point to where I didn't want to let my doctor know that I wasn't taking the medication or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, they want what's best for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not trying this other stuff, doing this, doing that, we're going to offer you this medication. Try to get better. But this comes with the side effects. If it don't work, let me know. But I ain't feel like keep going back and forth with them. Because at the end of the day, it wasn't going to matter. Because I didn't care for that medication. I knew what he was going to do. Give me some more medication, a different one. And that comes with side effects. I ain't want all that, man. I don't want to feel like I'm some test dummy, bruh. You know what I'm saying? It's just going to turn me into something else. I'll be mad. You know what I'm saying? So I stopped buying the pills, even though I wasn't taking it. I'm not big on donating like that. So I said, you know what I'm saying? That could be going towards the plug. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't going to lie. That was actually helping out. If anything, it kicked in instantly. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Daily smokes sessions was lovely. I ain't gonna lie. It helped out, but I still would say it was temporary, because once I wasn't on it no more, I was back to reality of feeling like this, feeling like that, whatever. So it got to the point to where, I'm saying, what else can I do? Because I'm still feeling it. I'm not myself. My personality is not there. I was known for being a class clown growing up. My personality always been like a funny jokester type of guy, you know what I'm saying? Love to be around people, love to laugh, you know what I'm saying? Just non-violent, any of that stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? People couldn't wait to be in my class. I ain't gonna say everybody, but growing up, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you compare your Y'all know what, you know what I'm talking about, like your little schedules, your school schedule, you looking at each other, say, oh man, what class you got? Oh, you got that? Oh, yeah. Oh man, you got that? So I just couldn't wait to be myself, bro. When I was a kid and all that stuff, or a teenager, you know what I'm saying? Especially when we had a substitute, you know what I'm saying? I used to cut up, boy, cut up. And it got real from when they called my mama and my daddy. I was like, oh, straight up, I was like in the army, but then, you know what I'm saying, boy. And that's when them teachers like, oh yeah, I know calling your mama is gonna correct you. But it only lasted for like a couple of days, you know what I'm saying? And now it's back to being me, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I don't know, man. I always had like a good personality, and then like I said, the depression just took over, man, to where I wasn't myself. You know what I'm saying? It was just made to where your boy was feeling down. I wasn't feeling like I was suicidal or anything like that, but I just definitely was not myself. And I still have them days to where like I don't feel like I'm myself, but I could tell that the trend is getting better. And I don't care if it's slowly moving up. As long as it's going in that direction, I take that, bro. As long as that bad boy ain't going down like that. So it got to the point to where you know, I was dealing with more depression stuff going on, bad relationships, you know what I'm saying, to where they basically was just using me, you know what I'm saying. And I'm not gonna say I allowed it, because once I found out about it, I corrected it, and you know what I'm saying, it was the end of that. But it still didn't make it no better that you had somebody that you thought that was on your side, that was helping you out. And okay, my bad, I was getting text message. But yeah, so it got to the point to where somebody, a close friend of mine, mentioned counseling. What about counseling, man? You should do counseling. And my thing is about counseling, and I'm not saying this is really the case for everybody, but for me, I only speak for me. This is my story, you know what I'm saying? You know, y'all don't come at me in the comments. I mean, y'all can if y'all want to. I don't care, you know what I'm saying? It's your boy T on it down doing what I do, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to say what I say, you know what I'm saying? Y'all the one that clicked on this video. Sorry, he wasn't talking about that. So I was saying myself for the counselor, I was like, I'm a very private person, so I don't see the point of me telling somebody that I don't even know my personal things that's going on in my life, because that's not going to make it better. And if anything, it's going to piss me off, because I'm telling you what's going on, and it's not, your feedback may be something good, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm thinking, okay, this person, this is their job, they on the clock, they're supposed to tell me some good stuff. And again, like I said, some people it helps out for, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's good. If counseling is your way to get it going, to break free, to feel normal again, do so, please. But for me, that was not no option. I was going to try to allow it to happen. It's just going to piss me off. And if it's too loud, I got the AC on, because it's hot out here in the hole right now. And but anyway, so I didn't want to deal with that. And if anything, counseling also kind of remind me of church. You know what I'm saying? Like when you go to church and the preacher's preaching, he's teaching, doing whatever the case may be, and you feeling good in the moment, you know what I'm saying, while you're there. And then once you leave, I ain't gonna say immediately, but you back to reality, you know what I'm saying? To where, like, yeah, you could take that life lesson or that message that he's giving you, and you're soaking it in, you can use that for your everyday life, but it's almost like that you got other things that you're facing with, you know what I'm saying, instead of just focusing on this or whatever. And it makes it to where it will fade away, to where you have to re-up the next Sunday, and then you feeling good again, and then, you know, you kind of drain towards the end of the week again, then you come back again. Counseling kind of feels like that to me, you know. And again, it may work for some people, but I didn't want that for me. I wanted something else, and because I felt like it would be a waste of time. Now, if I would have went to counseling, if it would have worked, then I would have been, you know, eat my own words and say, oh, I guess it did work. But I honestly can say I did not give that a chance. I didn't want to entertain that. Again, because I was a very private person. You know, that's just what it is. So I don't know, man. It was just, I don't know. So what helped me out was, of course, smoking that good old, you know what? You know what I'm saying? I don't know how YouTube is. You say certain keywords, they can't wait to, you know, get you strikes or whatever the case may be. You know, they come to being a little sensitive. But I'll be hitting up the plug, you know what I'm saying? And they'll be setting me off. They'll be making me to where I feel right. And again, like I said, that was still temporary too. But the only side effect was just saying I'm hungry, you know what I'm saying? And but it would make it to where my brain would be wanting to say taking a negative and finding the positive out of that, you know what I'm saying? That way I could be able to say, you know what? Certain people are being, you know, in a worse situation than I am, but this is my body, you know? I'm not going to say I didn't care about what other people had going on. I'm dealing with this. So I got to figure out a way to get past this stuff. And I will say that having close family members that love you, you know, you love them, and they want you to get better. You know, my kids, they didn't know I was depressed, you know. I don't think they ever knew I was going through depression. Now, my older kids, they do. You know, now they do. But at the time, none of them knew that. You know, they just knew that daddy, okay, boom, 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 what's going on? He'll get better. And, but the thing is, though, like, they never stopped loving me, you know? And my kids doing that and being innocent on just trying to be them, that's all I needed. Well, I ain't gonna say that's all I needed, but that helped out, you know? My close family members, my mama, my sister, you know, my cousins, people that was concerned about my life, you know what I'm saying, knowing that I wasn't like how, you know, that's not me, that's not TJ, bro. That's not him. And so once they was helping me out and, you know, just helping me get my mind off of things, it helped out. And again, that was temporary, you know what I'm saying, because depression is real. It's certain levels to depression. Now, I'm not going to say that I was to the point to where I was on a deep end. It was a deep end. It was low enough to where I knew that I was having some issues, bro, to where I'm still, to this day, I'm trying to figure it out in life, you know what I'm saying, to try to get over things, you know. Financial things could be adding on to it, you know what I'm saying. Your relationship could be adding on to it. Things inside the house could be adding on to it. Just everyday life, anything can add on to it, you know what I'm saying. And so once I realized that I was going through something, I said, what can I do to try to get better, you know? So I always been big on faith. I believe in God. I always prayed, you know. But I said, what else can I be doing? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say that that's all you have to just depend on, you know. God will throw that in your brain by saying, okay, well, yeah, I made you stronger than this, so there's other options that you can keep using, and you could use me as well to figure this out, you know. Look around you to see what you have that can help you out in life, you know. And again, like I said, my family been helping out, and I think I want to say like a good 3 or 4 years ago, it made it to where I said, you know what, I want to be around good energy, because if I'm around negative energy, it's going to just bring me down straight up. So if I'm around positive energy, good energy, it's just going to eventually just build up to where, you know, your boy is feeling better, you know what I'm saying. And I start having a lot of better days than majority of the week, feeling like, you know, I can't do this, like, not saying I'm gonna give up and die, you know what I'm saying, but to where I just didn't want to be feeling hurt on the inside. Mentally, it's a killer, bro. Like, it can age you real fast. It can make it to where you don't want to do nothing, like depression, anything. It make you want to shut down from the world, cut off people, you know what I'm saying, cuss out people, you know what I'm saying. The tongue is real sharp, like they said, you know what I'm saying. It's a sharp sword, bro. And if you say the wrong thing, even though that you going through something, just to put somebody else down that had nothing to do with nothing really, by the time that you feeling better, they still gonna remember that, You know what I'm saying? And you can't help but wonder why y'all not the same for when you healed up. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that you shouldn't be taking it out on people. But some things that helped me out, like I said, being around family members that love me. I used to be big on making beats. You know what I'm saying? That was an outlet of mine. Making beats all the time. I made a bang of beats, bro. And I was like, you know, the inspiration went away. You know what I'm saying? So it made it to where like that was my outlet, but I can't do that no more. I got all this studio equipment. Yeah, some of this stuff may be outdated, but it made it to where I just didn't want to do nothing no more, you know? So I love music, so I said to myself, what can I do? I started listening to random music. Some old school music that I was known for listening to that I love. Started listening to that. That started helping me out. Sorry. They ended up helping me out. And also listen to artists that I never heard before, you know? If you just start finding different things to try to, you know, get your joy back, do it, you know? Don't allow somebody to keep you down, straight up. Because some people love kicking you while you down, or some people love to see you like that, you know what I'm saying? And don't even want to help you out when they know they can do something on their end to help out. They just want to bring negative stuff to you all the time just to keep you down, keep me down. Especially if you somebody like me that love to see other people grow in life and do well. And if you feel like that you can't do nothing on your end to help them out, then you get depressed behind that, you know what I'm saying? In a way. Or it adds on to your depression. I will say that. I don't get just depressed if you doing it. But I will say that, like, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm a giver. I love people to be doing well in life. I love to help people get out of their situations. But what is other people doing to help me get out of my situation? And if I realize that that's not happening, I say, you know what? I can't let that be the excuse or the reason for why I'm still stuck like I am. I just got to figure it out in life and just be around positive people. So, if this message reached out to you, you know what I'm saying, and you going through something similar, drop it down in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? Just chop it up. You know what I'm saying? I only got like 12 subscribers or whatever. So, I'm willing to respond back to anybody that hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I'll call him back. I'm about to end it anyway. I'm up at work. I'm on my break. But, yeah, so just figure it out in life, man. I know it's going to be hard, but do not give up. That's one of my slogans. Never give up. No matter how hard it is in life, never give up, man. Your time may not be today or next week or next month. But as long as you do not give up and you try to do everything on your part to try to get there, to get better, that's all that matters, man. For sure, you're gonna get past it, for sure. Stay positive, and I'll get it with y'all at the next video. Peace.